Hey guys, welcome back to Home Built, and today I'm going to finish the assembly of my L28 engine. Alright, so those of you who've seen me assemble this engine last week, you'll see that you saw me assembling the bottom end of the engine. You also saw me assembling the head last week. Moving on today, I'm going to go through and put this timing chain on and do the timing of this engine, which should be interesting. So let's get into it. Okay, so my next step is timing, and already come across one hurdle that's annoying me. I pulled out my brand new timing chain, and I found by reading the book, it's saying for the timing you need to identify the two bright links. There's two bright sort of shiny links in the timing chain, which helps you get the timing right. The issue is that I have a brand new timing chain and there is absolutely no marks on it. I've gone over it, I've looked at it thoroughly, looked at every single link. There is no bright links on my chain. But at least something I found is I have my old chain which does have bright links on it. So what I've done is I've got out my old chain, laid them out next to each other so I can get the right number of links. The thing is I've counted the links between the bright links, and on my chain there are 20 links in between the bright links. On the picture in the book, there is 21 links in between the bright links. I don't know which one is correct. I'm hoping that the one in the book maybe is for a 4-cylinder or something, for L series engines, and whether they are marginally different, probably not. But in any case, I'll go over the one that was in the car. This is the one I've got here. I'll mark it with a paint pen, so at least I know now where the links are. I've marked them out. Let's try and put this timing together. Okay, so it looks like the 20 chain links, the one that I originally had, is the correct way, because the number 1 dot is lined up on the camshaft pulley and, camshaft sprocket. The other dot is lined up with the mark on the sprocket on the crankshaft, and it's still got a little bit of looseness in it. This has come slightly off of its mark, but around that way. But any more, it would be too loose. So that's I'm pretty comfortable that that's the correct orientation. So now it's time to start fitting the chain guides and the tensioners and see how it goes. All right, next challenge. I've got a new chain tensioner, and apparently there is supposed to be a gasket in my gasket set. I couldn't find anything that lines up with this, so I got out my trusty gasket material and cut out my own. So new gasket to go on, slide this together. Now let's go and bolt the tensioner on and move forward. Alright, so I've been going through, I've mounted the chain up and the tensioner, the whole, all the guides, that's all mounted, and I just played around a little bit with the timing marks. There's 1, 2 and 3 timing marks on the on this sprocket up here, the cam sprocket, and basically what it is each one advances the timing 4 degrees, and you need to set it up whichever works out to be 0, and I just sort of line it up. I tried it a couple of times, but lined up with 1 is the correct setting for mine, because everything's all nice and new. And I put just lightly put the front housing on to get the exact marking off of the balancer, and it lines up perfectly with 0 down here and lines up perfectly with the timing mark up here. So we are good, which means moving on to buttoning up this whole front housing now and put it on properly once and for all. Front end is on, all torqued up, so that means I've put my gasket on, and actually the gasket is quite thick. It's a lot thicker than I realised, which is probably going to fill in the difference in the rocker cover, because that is the next step, is rocker cover going on. So we'll bolt that down and see if it goes on okay. All right, top end is all bolted up and looking good, so now it's time to flip it upside down and start working up the other way. All right, oil pump is on. I spent, it takes a bit of time to make sure that the timing shaft that runs the oil pump but also runs the distributor is lined up and all timed properly, so that's all good. Now it's time to fit my nice shiny new water pump, yeah, so that's a bit of sealer on both sides of the gasket, mounted up, should be good. All right, that is looking a whole lot more complete than it was. There's still a few bits and pieces to finish tidying up, but that's pretty much it, and I'm definitely out of time for today, so that means it's time for Fun Facts with Mrs. Jeff.
Hey guys, the 1970 Bathurst 500 saw Holden change its tactics from the bigger Monaros to the smaller Torano GTR XU1. The six-cylinder Torano was more agile, cheaper and more economical to run. The triple Webers gave it a good power-to-weight ratio, and being smaller, it was easier on brakes and tyres, requiring less pit stops. It was still no match to the Phase 2 GTHO's power on the straights, with Alan Moffat bringing home the win. He won again in 71 with the iconic and now most valuable Aussie muscle car, the Phase 3 GTHO. This was the world's fastest four-door production car of its day, and one of them just set a record for an Aussie muscle car this year, selling at over 1 million Aussie dollars at an auction in June.
All right, I'm quite happy with the progress today. The engine is starting to look like a full engine again. I think I'm probably going to leave this for next week and get back into the car. I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to that. I've got some bits and pieces to work on inside, so something a bit different for a change.
As always, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the channel, and if you want to help us out, we've got merchandise for sale, some cool t-shirts down below.
Coffee mugs,
yeah,
all the good stuff. All right, until next time, guys. See you later.
Cold in here. brain's freezing. XU1. Sorted. Ratio. Ratio. Yeah, nailed it. I just want to go inside.